Back here, Nigeria and the world at large are celebrating the Human Rights Day and Universal Declaration of Human Rights today. The day with the theme, Our Rights, Our Future, Right Now. This focuses on how human rights are a pathway to solutions, playing a critical role as a preventive, protective, and transformative force for good. Joining us on the news this hour is Angela Akwa, Esquire. She is the Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association and Chairman of the Human Rights Committee, to have this conversation this moment. Good afternoon and welcome, Barrister Angela Akwa.
Good afternoon there.
Good to have you on the news today.
Good to have you too.
All right then. The world over, we are marking the conversation on Human Rights Day, and we are looking at really high statistics on human rights violations globally, exceeding about 100 million due to several types of violations and persecutions nationwide. And a 2021 data estimates that about 41% of persons have been forcibly displaced by crises worldwide, I beg your pardon. What's our hope as we mark today's celebration?
Well, there is hope because the global campaign for human rights was widely celebrated in Nigeria. The Nigerian Bar Association president, in the person of Afam Osigwe, gave a directive to all the vice chairmen and the chairman of the Human Rights Committee to stress the need to respect human rights. Imagine in the last 16 days, all the branches in Nigerian Bar Association in Nigeria were actively involved, and we have nothing less than 196 branches. Uyo, Ikorebene, Eket, and Oron for Akwa Ibom states. We were deeply involved in this global campaign. We visited police stations, prisons, Nigerian civil defense, and so many other stakeholders in the criminal justice system in Nigeria. The campaign was globally marked, and Nigeria also celebrated and marked this 16 days activism. We were deeply involved in it, I can tell you that. And the campaign is being driven even to the communities in our rural areas.
All right then. So since December 10, 1948, we have been marking this on the platform of the United Nations General Assembly. The first question then should be, what exactly are human rights abuses? Because some persons may be oblivious of this.
Yes, human rights abuses can be seen. An individual affects the rights of the other person. You see, in Nigeria, we have the Human Rights Chapter 3 of Texas of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Now, these human rights are right to life, dignity, and equality, I beg your pardon, freedom from discrimination and violence, the right to participate in the political, economic, and social life of one's community. Once you deprive somebody from this, you have infringed on the person's fundamental human rights.
Okay then. So two key things that you have mentioned. You mentioned quite a number of places that you have visited in recent times. So let's talk about how to educate the public on issues of human rights abuses.
In educating the public, at least we've been to public spaces. Respected. First, the thing is, you see, when an individual feels he can abuse rights anyhow, maybe because he's wearing uniform or he feels he's bigger than the other person. Let's say when we come to the home, you feel, oh, I'm stronger than this person. I can do whatever I like. If the person is aware that if I abuse this right, I will be taken to the courts and I'll be made to either pay damages or sent to prison, as the case may be. I think the person will have a constraint to some extent.
Two key things I also want us to look at this morning. The issue of crisis in several parts of Africa that have continued to displace millions of people, contributing to humanitarian crisis, and also what the United Nations are referring to the worst kind of humanitarian issues globally. We are seeing, rape of women, rape of children, children being put out of school as a result of this. How does the political topography of the world affect human rights, as it were?
Okay, let's start first from the United Nations, that like you raised. I'm also aware that United Nations have various arms that they use in checking these abuses. Like United Nations for refugees and all that is also an arm, one of the arms for United Nations. And recently, they have been involved, like I told you, in a global campaign. They've had series of seminars, which I think I participated in one recently. I was invited, and I saw the efforts that United Nations have been making in trying to drive home this global campaign to our rural areas. And they can go as far as going to places that you can't even imagine. Interior villages, United Nations have been there with the support of the stakeholders, like I told you. Nigeria is a signatory. We all know it's a signatory to so many treaties in United Nations. And when I saw their reports, the United Nations, one of the officers of United Nations gave, I was impressed. I was impressed in what they have done. They have done a good work. They have done a good job. And Nigeria keyed into this. One is driving home the message. Two, our people being ready to respect human rights is another thing. That is another thing, because I won't lie to you. This campaign has gone to various places, to nook and crannies that you can't even imagine. What we are looking at, the challenge is, are we ready to adhere? Are we ready to respect human rights? And that is where the government will come in. Government to enforce, to make policies that will drive home these human rights.
All right. In the media space, just as we wrap up this morning, we are currently fighting the battle of the issue on hate speech and publications, misinformation and disinformation, as it were. And it's growing, and this is a conversation we're widely having in Nigeria. How can we curb this? And also, widespread political killings and the rest, which are really infringing on human rights.
Like I said, when the populace are being educated on this, when you give them enough information and make laws that will serve, and maybe you punish people, and when they see that, oh, this person has been punished, it will serve as a deterrent to them.
Right.
When they see that, oh, the courts are giving judgments, and these judgments, people are being sent to prison, and they are serving their jail terms, and they are saying this, I think every rights individual will have to rethink.
All right, then.
In this aspect.
All right, then. Thank you so much for your time on the show this afternoon, Barrister Angela Nick Akwa, who is the Vice Chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, and Head of the Human Rights Commission in Akwa Ibom State. Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Okay, my name is Angela Mike Akwa, not Nick Akwa.
I apologize for the error there. Thank you so much for your time. All right, then.